Good morning, students. Today our topic is about thin layer chromatography. Thin layer chromatography is a most important technique used in our laboratories and industries. Thin layer chromatography is used for number of purposes like separation of plant pigments, amino acids, lipids, drugs, etc. So this is the most important technique for separation, analysis of the sample. So, before going to the thin layer chromatography, we have to know what is a chromatography. Chromatography is a technique for separation of mixtures into their components in order to analyze, identify, purify, and quantify the mixture or components. The term chromatography, first of all, given by a scientist known as Michael Sweat in 1906. This technique was differentiation of the paper chromatography and thin layer chromatography. So basic idea is chromatography first of all given by the scientist Michael Sweat for separation of plant pigments. For separation of plant pigments. So later this is applied and modified and separated based into different types of chromatographies. There are basically two types of chromatographies. One is planar, another one column chromatography. So this planar chromatography is again divided into paper chromatography and thin layer chromatography. So now we studied it in the planar chromatography. That is TLC comes under the planar chromatography. So this thin layer chromatography or paper chromatography or anything, there is a large history before developing these chromatography techniques. In 1906, chromatography was first discovered by Michael Sweat. Later, it is further developed by partition chromatography in 1942 by Martin and Singh. And in 1961, paper chromatography was discovered by finally into Sean Bin. To the application of this paper chromatography, thin layer chromatography came into existence. So, what is thin layer chromatography? So, paper chromatography is nothing but the separation of the samples on paper. But in thin layer chromatography, separation of samples on not on the paper. There is a separate layer on which we are going to separate. Thin layer chromatography is performed on a sheet of glass, plastic or aluminum foil which is coated with a layer of absorbent material. Usually silica gel or aluminum oxide or cellulose. This layer of absorbent is known as stationary phase. But in paper chromatography, we have used the stationary phase which is completely different. That is, water acts as a stationary phase. The interaction, there water acts as a stationary phase. Why? Because the principle involved is partition coefficient. That's why water acts as a stationary phase and the sample is partitioned between the water and the solvent. Here we are using the principle completely different, that is absorption principle. In absorption principle, there is the compounds are spotted on a thin layer of adsorbent coated on a chromatographic plate. So the mobile phase solvent flows through the onto the stationary phase through the capillary action. That is, there is no need of a water onto which is partitioned. The capillary action is taking place here. The capillary action is taking place because of the gel you are using on the glass plate. Because here the stationary phase is the silica gel, that is which is coated on the glass plate, and the solvent is mobile phase which are used for the different compounds. The compound with most affinity toward the stationary phase travels slower. That is, if the sample is more interacted towards the stationary phase, it moves slow. If it is more interacted towards the mobile phase, it moves faster. Thus, the components are separated in a thin layer chromatographic plate based on the affinity of the compounds towards the stationary phase. Now, by coming to the definition of thin layer chromatography. Thin layer chromatography or TLC is a method for analyzing mixtures by separating the compounds in the mixer. TLC can be used to help determine the number of components in the mixer and to identify the compounds in the mixer and to give a purity of the compounds by observing the appearance of the product or a disappearance of the reactant. So, in this way, thin layer chromatography is used for the large purposes like identification, purity, analysis, separation of mixers. All these are the most important one used for the thin layer chromatography. So, TLC is a most sensitive technique. Here, sensitive means the minute amount of samples can be separated using the TLC. But in paper chromatography, you have to apply the sample somewhat more when compared to the TLC. So, but in TLC, micrograms can be analyzed by the TLC and it takes little time for the analysis. By compared to the paper chromatography, we are taking the 45 to 1 hour for the separation. But in TLC, we can analyze the sample from 5 to 10 minutes or it may be half an hour. So in this way, thin layer chromatography having good resolution and the technique is very fast. So in this way, TLC is performed using thin sheets of glass. So TLC is performed on the glass, aluminum or plastic coated with layer of stationary phase, usually silica gel. That is, you are separating the compound on a glass plate onto which you are adding the silica gel, which is in the uniform manner. So for coming the uniform manner, we are using a spreader known as Stahl spreader. By using the Stahl spreader, you are adding the silica gel on the glass plate. By that, you will get the equal layer of the silica gel onto the glass plate. So in this way, later this silica gel layer is again divided into two types based on your separation. That is maybe a preparative purpose or it may be analytical purpose. That is the thickness of the silica gel. That is 0.25 thickness is meant for the analytical purpose. 0.5 thickness is meant for the preparative purpose. So based on this, you are separating the samples on the silica gel. However, other coatings such as aluminium, polyamide, cellulose, ion exchanges, chemically bonded amino or phenol layers can also be used for the thin layer chromatography based on the sample you are using. So, using polar group like silica provide the chance of separation of polar and non-polar material by using non-polar solvent. That's why silica is most preferred for the separation of this technique. So nowadays, a ready-made TLC sheets are commercially available, but mobile phase is chosen according to the type of sample being used. So TLC consists of mainly of 3 steps. That is, likewise in paper chromatography, we are adding the sample, we are developing the paper. Later, we are visualization takes place. Here, paper chromatography steps also similar to the paper chromatography. The basic difference is 2 points. One is there is a partition principle, here adsorption principle. There is a paper is the main thing, here silica gel is the main thing for the separation of the sample. So TLC consists of 3 steps. First one spotting, second one development, third one visualization. So these 3 important steps make the TLC complete process. Under that, first one spotting. In TLC, the sample must be carefully applied on the plate to minimize the spreading. Sample sizes from 0.1 mg to 50 mg are the best for the TLC. Smaller amounts are difficult to visualize, while larger spots are result in overloading and variable results. That is, that applying of the sample is most crucial in the thin layer chromatography. The sample should be very in minute quantity, but it should not be overload. If overload will takes place, the sample view movement will be in the zigzag manner. That's why the sample should be in the minute quantity for the separation of the sample. So minute quantity of sample can be analyzed in the TLC. That is the main important thing of the TLC. But the minute quantity of sample cannot be visualized in the paper chromatography. So this is the most important point of TLC. Next, sample should be dissolved in relatively volatile solvents, that is 0.25 ml. That is, sample should be dissolved in a volatile solvent to make that good running of the sample onto the stationary phase, so that the spots do not spread excessively. So this is the main important part of the application of the sample. By coming to the next one, development. The spotted plate is placed in a sealed development tank filled with a vapor of mobile phase. In lower side, immersed in solvent to the level below the applied sample spots. The solvent rises due to capillary flow in a process called development. So, in this, I am explaining that is, after completion of the spotting, the whole plate is taken into a glass chamber which is saturated. Here, the saturation is most important part of the development technique. What do you mean by saturation? Before going to or inserting of the plate into the chamber, you have to pour the solvent before 1 hour. It should be left in that chamber. By that, its vapors are uniformly spread in the chamber to make the spots go in uniform manner during the separation of the sample. In this way, you have to add the solvent 1 hour before. By that, you are adding the plate into the chamber. By that, you will get uniform separation. The solvent rises onto the plate due to the capillary flow in a process called development. But in paper chromatography, the development is completely different. There is a partition principle, that is, the sample is partitioned between the water and the mobile phase. Here the principle is completely different, that is adsorption principle. That is, a sample is adsorbed onto the silica gel by using the solvent. So in this way, if it is more interacted with the silica gel, its movement will less. If it is more interacted with the solvent, it will move faster. So development times can range from 3 to 60 minutes based on the sample you are using, based on the solvent you are using. So by coming to the third step, visualization. That is, you have separated you have spotted the sample, you have developed the sample. Next, finally, where the spots are present. So visualization is the most important and final step of the thin layer chromatography. So after the development of the plate, you have to remove it from the chamber. That is, if you are separating the sample, that is amino acid sample, you have to spray it with the ninhydrin. Why means, you are, after removing the plate from the chamber, you will not see any spots on the plate. So you have to visualize the sample to make color. For that reaction, amino acids are mostly visualized by the spraying with the ninhydrin tool. Where the reaction takes place is to formation of Ruhmann's complex. By that, it shows the purple colored spots. If the sample you are using is that a plant pigment, you should not use any color. They itself are colored. Based on that, you can be separated. In this way, you can use some fluorescent compounds also you can use it. For seeing of the fluorescent compounds, you are using the UV light for the visualization. So, the absorbed UV plate has a indicator, and when irritated, it will show analytes as dark spots on a bright background. So, reaction with chromogenic agent. This is the most important one. These reagents may be general, reacting with many different compounds, or selected, reacting only with certain functional groups. So, in this way, the sample and the coloring agent or chromogenic reagent, which makes the sample visualize, is the most important part of the visualization. So, organic materials like treat plates with concentrated sulfuric acid and heat at 200 degrees centigrade and light show up as a dark spots to make the visible. So, and this is the one step, and another step you have to understand is before going to the separation of the spotting or it may be a developing technique, the plate should be taken for the activation. The plate should be taken for activation of the plate. For that activation, you have to put that plate in the oven 1 hour before. Why means the chemical groups in the silica gel will come up for the good separation of the sample. If the sample is developed by the plate, you will get a good resolution. In every technique, the most important 2 steps are, one is the resolution, another one fastness. So these 2 are coming in the thin layer chromatography by activation of the plates. So by activation, the activation groups are come onto the silica gel, and then you are spotting the sample and developing the sample. Then you will get the 100% good results. So then the plate is sprayed with inhalant and heated at hot air oven and produce color of the specimen. So after the visualization of the color, you have to know what the amino acid that is present in your sample. That is, here we are using different samples. One is for the sample, you don't know what amino acid it is present, and another one is the 20 standard amino acids, where all are separated on this thin layer chromatography. So we have to know what is the amino acid that is present in the unknown sample. So it can be calculated by using a most important formula called as KD, or equal to CS by CM. CS means concentration of sample in stationary phase, and CM means concentration of sample in mobile phase. This is the principle or formula involved for separate calculation of the RF values of the every sample. What is the concentration of sample in stationary phase and what is the concentration of sample in mobile phase? It is nothing but the RF value which is separate for every biomolecule. Every biomolecule is having its own stationary phase, or every biomolecule is having its own RF values. Based on RF values, you are going to the separate. So, for example, my sample is having a phenylalanine amino acid, which is having the RF value. For example, by calculating RF value, distance traveled by solute. What is distance traveled by solute means? From the sample you are spotting, from where the spot is gone. So this should be calculated. So that is distance traveled by solute. And we have taken during the development process, the plate is meant for development. We have run the plate up to 3/4 only. That is the solvent running phase. So if you are calculating the value for every sample you are going to separate, so by using the RF value of the sample, that is from the placing of the sample to the where it reached, and again distance traveled by solvent from the sample you are placed and where the solvent phase is reached. So these RF values are different for the different samples. That is the most important biological property of the most of the things. So in this way, different RF values are you are getting. So by which RF value of the 20 standard amino acids is compared with the amino acid sample that is present in your sample. So which 2 RF values are equal? That is your unknown sample. In this way, we are calculating the RF values using the distance traveled by solute or distance traveled by solvent. But in paper chromatography, actual RFs cannot be measured, as a gravity plays an important role and relative RF is measured because of the RF value of the standard reference. So by comparing, so there are different detecting agents are present during the visualization of the sample. Some of them are I am explaining here. For For example, specific method. Specific spray reagents or detecting agents, visualizing agents are used to find out the nature of compounds for identification in purposes. For example, first one, ferric chloride for phenolic compounds and tannins, ninhydrin acetone for amino acids, Rancroft reagent for alkaloids, 3,5-dinitrobenzoic acid for cardiac glycosides, 2,4-dinitrophenyl hydrogen for aldehydes and ketones. In this way, you are having the different detection agents for the calculation of RF value. So another one, I am here showing a diagram in which the RF values are shown. That is, here A is traveled at a distance of 7.5 centimeters from the sample spot, and B is transferred from the 2.5 centimeter distance from the sample spot. This difference is due to the, if it is B is more interacted with the stationary phase, that is silica gel, it moves slower. That is A more interacted with the solvent, that's why it moves to the upwards. In this way, every biomolecule is having its own differences. So, but solvent level, during the development, we have taken 3/4 distance on the plate. That is solvent level. Here I am showing is that 3/4 traveling. That is, here you are showing that sample spot. From the sample spot where the B is moved, that is distance traveled by solute. From the sample spot where the solvent is moved, that is distance traveled by solvent. If this is calculated then like this, that means RF of A equal to 7.5 by 10. 10 means here the distance traveled by solvent, that is equal to 0.75. In this way, RF of B 2.5 by 10, that is 0.25. This is distance traveled by B of a B sample. That is, for the relative RF of A and B, you have to know what is the main difference between the B and A, where they are traveled. That is 7.5 by 2.5 equal to 3. That is, for traveling of A to the B, the mean difference here is 3. In this way, we are calculating the RF values. So, next, by coming to the advantages of TLC. The thin layer chromatography advantages include it is simple process with short development time. I already told that it will take short development time, but in paper chromatography it will take more time when compared to the TLC. Next, it helps in visualization of separated compound spots easily. So here the resolution also good. That's why TLC makes useful for the separation of most of the drugs. This method helps to identify the individual components. Here in TLC, there is no clumsiness of the sample on the TLC plate like as a paper chromatography. It helps in isolation of the most of the compounds. The isolation of most of the components like vitamins, antibiotics, drugs, amino acids, lipids. This is one of the important property of TLC. You can separate the lipids on the thin layer chromatography, but you can't separate the lipids on the paper chromatography. Why means here for the lipids, the coloring agent is concentrated sulfuric acid. If you put the concentrated sulfuric acid on the paper, it will burn. But in TLC, it will not. There is a glass plate, but on which you are adding the silica gel. But there is no problem with the glass plate. In this way, lipids are the important compounds separated in the TLC. Next, the separation process is faster and selectivity for compounds is higher. Even small differences in chemistry is enough for the clear separation. There is, for the small differences in paper chromatography, you are using the two-dimensional. But here the small differences itself are separated using in ordinary TLC technique. The purity standards of the given sample can be accessed easily, and it is a most cheaper chromatography technique. These are the advantages of the TLC. Next, by coming to the applications of TLC. To check purity of given samples, identification of compounds like acids, alcohols, proteins, alkaloids, amines, antibiotic, etc. And to evaluate the reaction process by assessment of intermediates, reaction cores, etc. Next, to purify the samples, also the most important part of the TLC process. To keep a check on the performance of the other separation process, TLC is the most important technique for the separation. Okay, thank you.